Ginger Baker of Cream in Conversation. 7. Written by Geoffrey Giuliano. Narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano. Welcome to Ginger Baker in Conversation. Peter Edward Ginger Baker was born August 19, 1939. He is, of course, an English drummer, best known as the founder of the rock band Cream. His work in the 1960s earned him praise as rock's first superstar drummer, although his individual style melded a jazz background with his interest in African rhythms. Baker is credited as a pioneer of drumming in genres like jazz fusion, heavy metal, and world music. Now, Baker began playing drums at age 15 around 1954, and later took lessons from Phil Seaman. In the 1960s, he joined Blues Incorporated, where he met bassist Jack Bruce. The two clashed often, but would be rhythm section partners again in the Graham Bond Organization and Cream, the latter of which Baker co-founded with Eric Clapton in 1966. Cream achieved worldwide success, but only lasted until 1968, in part due to Baker's and Bruce's volatile relationship. After briefly working with Clapton in Blind Faith and leading Ginger Baker's Air Force, Baker spent several years in the 1970s living and recording in Africa, often with fellow Ransom Kuti, in pursuit of his longtime interest in African music. Among Baker's other collaborations are his work with Gary Moore, Masters of Reality, Public Image Limited, Atomic Rooster, Bill Laswell, jazz bassist Charlie Hayden, and another personality-led effort, Ginger Baker's Energy. Baker's drumming attracted attention for his style, showmanship, and use of two bass drums instead of the conventional one. In his early days, he performed lengthy drum solos, most notably in the Cream song Toad, one of the earliest recorded examples in rock music. Baker, too, is an inductee in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Cream, and of the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame in 2008, and of the Classic Drum Hall of Fame in 2016. That being the annotated chapter-and-verse biography of Peter Ginger Baker, let me tell you where I came into the story. I received a phone call many years ago out of the blue, with a voice on the other end of the line saying, "It's Ginger," to which I replied, "Ginger who?" He said, "Ginger Baker, you idiot. I want you to write my book." This was at a time in my career when I was pretty much in demand, and I was somewhat surprised and very honored to get the call. We then met up with Mr. Baker in California at his home with many dogs, horses, and a lovely wife, followed by meetings in New York at the offices of Jim Fitzgerald at St. Martin's Press. Eventually, a lucrative international book deal was hammered out, and Ginger and I began to work on the book. It was, without doubt, one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life, and not particularly in a good way. I worked on the book very hard, and as much as Ginger said he liked it on Monday, he loathed it on Tuesday, lukewarm on Wednesday, wanted to fire me on Thursday, and loved it again on Friday. It was very difficult to know where you stand at any given time with Peter Ginger Baker at the helm. In putting together the book, we headed into Mark Studios in Clarence, New York, near my home in Lockport, where we did a marathon of about 2 weeks of extensive and intimate interviews with the legendary drummer. They were insightful and nerve-wracking, and you hear them here today for the first time. In fact, I haven't even listened to them since they were first made over 30 years ago. The tapes, since first recorded, have traveled with me all over the world, under the bed in Thailand, in a closet in Oregon, locked up for years in Billings, Montana, finally to be recovered, retrieved, and transferred from the deteriorating DATs onto a hard drive in 2017 in Milan, Italy, by my good friend Alex. Despite the sheer volume of the tapes involved, it was a kind of King Tut's tomb of rock history, annotated by the great Ginger Baker. To hear them today is a rock enthusiast's wonder. The fact that they survive at all, or even manage to be transferred properly from the old DATs, is amazing, and they are here for you now to study, enjoy, and enter into the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?